tell one person this, tell one person that, especially when it's this far out, and just, give them blurry images to sell it, and just give people bad information until we get the actual release in like a month ahead of time. Then be like, oh, actually, it was this, and give each one a piece of the real thing, but then throw in some nonsense as well.
All right, hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am your co-host Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, he's wearing his favorite color, green. It's Jacques.
Yo. Welcome to the podcast, folks. Got a good show planned for you guys today. Hope you're excited. Lots of good things going on. But before we get there, one of us has a better memory than the other. And one of us was able to acquire. Well, I shouldn't say acquire, because you don't actually have it, but you put in the work before I put in the work.
Yes.
So kudos to you for that. For those that are outside the world of video games, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But Nintendo put up their pre-orders, and Juan remembered. I did not. So he's gonna have something to throw in my face in a little while. Well,
that's definitely
like 2 months away, but still.
Yeah. Now that I know you are really, you had like an interest in it. I didn't know if you were like really super interested in it, or if it was just like, oh, if I get it, I get it. But now that I know that you did this whole thing about like, oh, I forgot about it. Oh no, I'm definitely gonna rub it in your face when it shows up. That's just.
Thank you. I appreciate the friendship that we have.
Yeah. That's what friends
how
do.
Considerate you are.
I would expect you to do the same.
That's true. So how did the process go? Was it an easy grab? Was it like a sneakers release? Like what's going on here?
Oh, well, no, it was nothing like a sneakers release because I actually got the dub. So that's the first difference. That's the first difference between a sneakers release. Yes.
No shade to well, actually it is shade, but
yeah.
We'll act like it's not.
Yeah. So Nintendo, well, actually not Nintendo. It was Best Buy, Walmart, and Target. They put up their pre-orders for the Nintendo Switch 2. It was originally supposed to be like an earlier date, but because of current situations going on in the world, there was some delays. There was some speculation that the price might go up and so on and so forth. But Nintendo went ahead and said, hey, pre-orders are going to go live for these retailers at the same price that they were announced at, which was $450 for the base console and then $500 for the console with a download code for Mario Kart World. So pre-orders went live at these retailers, Target, Walmart, and Best Buy. And so I had all the tabs open, ready to go, and, hoping for the best. Now, it was at 9 o'clock Pacific time and then midnight over in the East Coast. So the East Coast people got to like really had to pull an all-nighter to make this. Yeah, they got the worst of it, right? So
we rarely win in those situations, but this time I feel like we won.
Yeah, that's every one of those situations where like, woo, okay, good luck, you guys. Hopefully you guys don't fall asleep while trying to. Which actually happened to me when the PS5 pre-order went live, like during the pandemic era. I literally fell asleep on my laptop. By my laptop.
Oh, wow.
And then I just woke up and it said click. And I'm like, oh, click. So I got it. So anyways, that was a different story. So back to the Switch 2. Now, it started at 9 o'clock. And so I'm just trying to add to cart on all of these different, tabs. So I was unable to get it on Walmart. And at Best Buy, I was able to add to cart, but it ends up putting you in a queue, in a line. So you're like, there's like a thing that says, oh, you're waiting in line. And so, it just will let you know basically when you are ready to, place your order. Now, Target was the first one that showed up and I was managed to actually click and get to my order. However, once I did that, when I was trying to check out, my address wouldn't show up. Now, this is weird because, I have a Target account and, you have all of the whatever's, everything necessary, credit card and all that stuff ready to go. But for whatever reason, when it says select a shipping address, my address wouldn't show up. Like, it wouldn't show like, oh, hey, ship to my house, please. Like, and I'm trying to check out furiously, right? And so and so I'm trying to enter it, but then it says, oops, something went wrong, error, try again, trying to enter my address again. Oops, something went wrong, try again. I do this for like 10 times because I'm just like, oh, come on, please let this work. Please let this work. Please let this work. So I get eventually 9:20, address finally shows up, and I'm finally ready to check out. But then it says, item no longer in cart. So I'm like, oh, pain. However, I go back to the product page and it's still letting you add to cart. So I keep trying for at least another 20 minutes trying to add to cart. Meanwhile, at Walmart, it does say like, oh, you can't even add to cart. And then in Best Buy, you're still in line. So
Right.
trying all sorts of things, like, maybe close the app or on my browser, and just trying all sorts of different methods. And it's the same thing. You can actually add the item to the cart, but you can't check out. It just says either error or it just kicks you out to the main page again without the item in the cart. So I'm just like, it's a struggle. And I'm just like, oh man, what am I doing? And, I'm just like going back and forth.
Like sneakers.
This does sound a lot like sneakers. It really does. It really does. So we go back to Walmart, and now Walmart, I think it was around 10 o'clock. That's when more stock showed up. I guess maybe they had like an allotment for 9 o'clock, and then they like had another set for 10 o'clock. So now I'm able to add to cart. Yeah. So maybe that was like a staggered thing that they were doing.
Yeah.
Whole time, I'm still in line on Best Buy. So Walmart, I get to add to cart, put all my info, credit card and all that stuff. And same thing, would not let me complete the process. Like I'm actually at place order, would not let me complete the process. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what? It's just not letting me do it. It's the same thing as Target, just not letting me check out. So I'd say there was around 10:15 or something. Target eventually says, we're out. Don't even bother anymore. You can't check out. You can't do nothing. You can't even like add to cart or anything anymore. So I'm just trying at Walmart. Again, Best Buy, still in line. So Walmart's just trying, and it gets up to like 11, and I'm just like, oh man, what? It feels almost hopeless at this point. As I figure, like with Best Buy, maybe their servers are all jammed and everything. I'm just probably not going to end up getting something there. So I'm still trying with Walmart, and then eventually I close the tab. I just give up on Best Buy. I just close the tab, and then I just go back to the regular product page. So this is around 11:30, maybe 11:30 or whatever, like past 11. So I see at Best Buy, now I go back there, and I see that the base console, which doesn't have Mario Kart World, I can add that to cart. So I try to check out there, maybe take 2 or 3 attempts, and then it finally goes through. And I'm like, oh, I got my Switch. I'm like, oh, great, set. So it's going to ship to my house on, I think it's June 5th or June 6th. Now, when I look at my email, my confirmation, because, sometimes, like, I've heard stories. I was watching, like, while I was doing all of this, I was watching a Twitch stream of somebody trying to, like, them and their buddies trying to get, like, their pre-orders in. And sometimes, like, they would actually get
going through the same struggles you were going through.
Yeah, going through the same struggles. But some of them were actually reporting that they got emails saying that their order got canceled. So I'm worrying, like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So maybe they, got too many orders in at the same time, and they had to, like, cancel some. So fortunately for mine, I got the confirmation email, got the order number and everything. The problem was, it's not shipping to my house. I have to go pick it up for the midnight launch at, I'm not going to say what Best Buy, but I'm going to have to pick it up at midnight, which means I'm going to have to line up like all of these damn nerds trying to get...
That's not terrible. That's not terrible, though.
It's midnight. However, I did look up at the Best Buy, just to look up, like, what exactly the procedures are going to be. It does say that for people on the East Coast, they do have to go to Best Buy at midnight for the launch. It does say 9 p.m. Pacific time for West Coast. So I'm like, maybe this means that I don't have to go there at midnight. I can go there at 9 o'clock and go get my system.
Oh, you think that they'll do a universal time?
Universal time. That's my hope. That's my hope, right? Is like, I'll confirm it with the Best Buy that I got the order from, just to make sure that...
They don't usually do that, though, do they?
Yeah.
Don't they make everybody wait until...
From my recollection from back in the days, yeah, though, they make everybody wait for midnight. So I don't know if this is like something
Oh.
relatively new where they're, maybe it's like worldwide, right? Like whatever midnight or whatever the exact time. Maybe they have like a specific time that they're like, okay, everybody gets their Switch at this particular time. And, whatever time that is in your part of the world, that's when you get it. So I don't know if that's like the new thing, but because I haven't gotten anything video game related, lined up for anything video game related since Halo 2. I still remember me and my college buddies, we lined up at the GameStop at
Yeah,
West
that's probably
Covina.
been the last time I did it. To be
Yeah,
fair.
we could get Best Buy, like I think, oh no, GameStop in, or was it even EB Games? Like when there were still like different stores, it wasn't just all GameStop. I think it was still like an EB. And we lined up for like the midnight launch of Halo 2. And I got like the limited edition one with like the shiny, what is it? The tin box, the steelbook
Oh,
version. I think that's the
yeah.
one that I got. Yeah. So I think that was the last time I got anything video game related. And then of course I ended up doing like the video game journalism thing. So, I got stuff sent. So since then I haven't done any like video game like lining up stuff. I've been fortunate enough to like, thanks to you, I got the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation, a PS5, I got it shipped to me. So not necessarily lining up for, or, trying to like fight for it. Like, oh no,
Yeah.
we had the Nintendo Wii was different. Like, remember, if you remember the madness over the Nintendo Wii and like how long it took for everybody to get theirs, and people
Didn't you
were
get one early?
the Nintendo Wii? No, the original
I mean,
Wii? No.
like when you got one, like when it first launched, didn't you get like a couple of them?
Oh, yeah, no, we did. We got one early, but then like eventually my brother needed one, and then it was a mall also. We found out that there was a mall that had them, and we just ran to that particular GameStop. We got like two consoles, and we sold them, which paid for tickets to fly to the Philippines. That's how much. That's how much they were going for back then. But
Yo,
yeah,
I'm
anyway.
not mad. I'm not mad. I get it. I get it. I'm not
Yeah,
mad
man.
at all.
The
Get
hustle
it
for
in.
the original Wii was a very real thing, man. That was very
Yeah.
much like a thing. So, yeah,
People are going crazy for those things.
people were going crazy for those things. Yeah, no. So for the Switch 2, so I did secure my pre-order. Hopefully nothing goes crazy between now and June 5th and everything, because world is a interesting place at the moment, and that's why I was even like stressing over trying to get this, because you don't know what's going to happen, because Nintendo did say like, hey, we're not raising the price of the Switch 2 at the moment,
At
but
the
things
moment.
could, yeah, but things could change. They did raise the price of their accessories. So certain controllers that went for like, well, controllers are already crazy. They're like priced at $80. Now they're going for like 90. Other accessories are going for like, they raised the prices on some of the accessories. So they are quote unquote doing us a solid by not raising the price on the console, which is already like kind of a lot of money for a Nintendo console to begin with. But yeah, no,
Doing us
I'm
a
just
solid.
glad.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Yeah, that's one way to put it, exactly right. Thanks, Nintendo. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't work that job anymore. I could be in Nintendo jail, which is a famous thing that people. I don't know if you know this, but like if you cross Nintendo in a certain way back then, when I was doing like the review stuff and everything, you would get put
Yeah.
into what is called Nintendo jail. You wouldn't get invited to events. You wouldn't get sent copies for review. They were very strict, and they had like their they I wouldn't say they picked their favorites, but they do really go hard against those who kind of criticize them,
Cross their path. Yeah, who
cross their
criticized
path.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. And critique is fine, but then sometimes there are those who take it too far. But yeah, no. Anyways, that's a
Yeah,
story for
what's
another
too
time.
far when you're critiquing someone? Like that's very I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe there's
I don't like
pettiness,
I don't
but
like that. But I mean, I guess
yeah,
every
but
industry is like that, though.
yeah, every
every
industry's
industry
like
has
that.
like their, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just happy that I was able to get it at. I can't believe I'm happy I got it at 450, because it could be 600 in a couple months or 700 or whatever, depending on how the world is operating. But regardless, I wouldn't have stressed out if I had known it was always going to be 450. But yeah, regardless, I got it, and like I will pick it up at hopefully 9 o'clock at Best Buy at the place that I am going to go pick it up. And yeah, that's that
Do
story.
you do you think it should be priced lower?
Yes. Yes, for a console that is as powerful as, well, maybe slightly more powerful than a PS4 or an Xbox One, which are over a decade old, yeah, they should be priced lower. Now, I understand, because of the novelty, the Nintendo Premium and everything, I understand. But,
Yeah.
it is Nintendo. They are the family-friendly console, and pricing it at 450 is kind of blocking out a certain, population from being able to afford these. With the Nintendo Switch, it was
Right.
$300, which is also nothing to sneeze at, but it's also, a price point that most families are able to, stomach, especially when the light
How
came
much
out, the
was
light
the
version.
Xbox?
Which one? The Series X or the Series
Yeah, the
S?
most recent one. There were.
Oh, there was the X. The X was 500 and the S was 300, I think, but because it was like slightly underpowered. So, and the PS5, I think it was 500 for the one without the disc and then 600 for the one with the disc initially. So I think the prices
Right.
come down a little bit since then. So yeah, and I understand, margins and everything. Nintendo's got to make their money. They are famous for profiting on their consoles from day one. But I guess in this case with the Switch 2, even at 450, they are going to be losing money with every console, at least initially. But they're still Nintendo. They have their consumer base is a lot different than your Sonys and your Microsofts. They are
Right.
the family. Yeah, so it's gonna be tough. I feel bad and I really was bummed out when I heard 450, at least for the base console without any games. I thought at most 400, but I also was fearing the 500 number. So when I heard 450, I was like, oh man, like I wish it was like 400 or at least, or
Yeah.
try to get it to 350 or something, right? But I business is business, and they're gonna try to find a way to make their money. But the reality is that they make their money through their software and their accessories, their margins. If their console margins were famously high for the previous generations, their accessory margins are huge, are legendary. Those Joy Cons, they're like $80, and now the Joy-Con 2s I think are like 90. The controllers are $90. That's
That's so
crazy.
expensive. That's really
Yeah, for
expensive.
controllers. Like controllers for the Switch 1, I think were like 60, 50, and then you get to your third parties which are like 40 and something, but the quality is not the same sometimes. So, yeah,
I mean,
like
I feel that's why that they, the third party market can. I mean, but it lets the third party cook too, and then third party
yes.
always does the cool stuff, for
Oh,
lack of a
right,
better
right.
word.
Like the license stuff, you get like your different designs and everything. So that's how,
Yeah.
they stand out from like the Nintendos or, the Sonys and all that stuff in terms of like their accessories. But I mean, me personally, I do want the official ones just because they tend to be like the better quality out of all of them. So, but I don't think, but the neat thing about it though is like a lot of the accessories from the Switch 1 are going to be, they can transfer over to Switch 2. So at least that kind of eases the pain a little bit. So for people who are looking to upgrade or update, a lot of their stuff will move over to the Switch 2. So at least there's that small consolation. But at the same time, for those who are just like
Consolation,
jumping,
a little,
yeah, for those who are
yeah.
jumping in the first time, it's like, ooh, man, $90 for a controller is, man, that's tough. I can't believe they're
Gosh,
doing
I was
that.
trying to
But
think. Try to think how what's probably like 40 or $50. I think is the last time I paid for a controller.
yeah, and that makes sense. It shouldn't cost more than a game. And the
Yeah.
games are also being priced like very interestingly because Mario Kart
Yeah.
is $80. So I'm gonna be paying an extra $30 just to get Mario Kart this now because I did not get the one with the bundle. And then other games, I think the standard now for Switch games is gonna be 70 instead of like 60 and 50 in the previous generation. Hey man, inflation, games aren't cheap to make, and I understand that. But man, it's gaming is
It's
becoming a hobby, enthusiast. I want to say elite, but it's becoming more and more of like a hobby that only a certain segment, a certain income bracket can pursue now. Now
Yeah, I
the
would say that's what it
and
feels like. It
that's
feels like
and
it's
that's
just coming
rough.
really. It's becoming really expensive for people. Like
Yeah,
used to be everybody can get, not everybody, but video games weren't as hard to acquire. And now it's like, damn, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to play.
yeah. At least the hope is that at some point, like the price does drop. But famously, the Switch 1 never dropped in price. The Switch 1 was $300 when it came out in 2017, and it's still $300 now. The light versions are $200 when they first came out, and they're still $200 now. And the OLED was $350, and it's still $350 now. So they haven't really done price drops since, gosh, it's been so long. But maybe the software, maybe, eventually as, games do get older, longer in the tooth, they do drop in price. Maybe they didn't do it for the Switch 1 generation, but maybe for the Switch 2 generation, there's a little bit more, space to like drop the price from like 80 to from starting at 80 to like 70 to 60, which is still like a lot to ask. So, yeah. and that's why gaming is going in a different direction now, man. You've got like the people who are into the consoles, the Switch, the Xbox, and the PS5 or whatever generation is coming next. And then you've got the mobile people. The people who just play on their phones or on their computers who can like play free games. And yeah, it's just becoming more and more segmented.
It's almost like the brands are pushing people to play on, like, to just do. It's like with these kind of prices, like it's pushing people to do the mobile gaming thing, or to do the PC gaming thing where you can get cheap games on like Steam or something like that. It's like they're just pushing people towards that and making it making video games like a luxury item almost.
Yeah, it really is starting to be that way. And I think we are slow, maybe not slowly anymore. It used to be a slow build, but I think we're getting to that future where there's not going to be a PlayStation. There's not going to be an Xbox. There's just going to be all of these handheld devices that are branded PlayStation or branded Microsoft, Xbox. And they just play all of the games. They're going to be like competitors to the Steam Deck, which was, a novelty when it first came out, but it's a huge success now. And
now it's cool.
I just wonder, and Xbox and Sony have been talking about like releasing their own portables. So, maybe sooner than later, we're going to see those portables out on the market, and, and that's going to be like their competitors to the Switch. But Nintendo, they're always, as long as they never put their games out on any other platform, they're always going to have the advantage of having a huge, cast IP that no one can touch. Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, everything. As long as they keep that in-house, I think they're always going to be fine. They can always, they could keep doing what they're doing right now, and people are just going to keep coming back. Like, I don't think Sony or Microsoft have that luxury because they don't have the same iconic. They do like, Halos, God of Wars for Sony. They do have some, but it's not on the level of Mario. I mean, the Mario movie, what was that, like 2-3 years ago? It made billions of dollars. It's in theme parks now. Like, Mario is, for the longest time, people were like, Mario is more popular than Mickey Mouse. And I'm like, that's a wild statement. But now, I think we might be getting there. I think we're, maybe it's still like a ways off, but it's a lot closer than it was. The gap is a lot closer than it was before.
Yeah, more people are aware of it. I mean, and then you have to think how much money this Minecraft movie is making right now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
So like that, although Minecraft doesn't really have any like standout characters, really. I guess. I mean, they have characters, but not like Jack Black. Yeah. But there's like no character that's like universally known. Like when you think Mario Brothers, obviously you think Mario. When you think but when you think Minecraft, you don't think
Steve.
I don't know, what would you think? Like, I don't know
that guy
when you think of.
Did you have any like younger relative? Did you have any like nephews or nieces or whatever who wanted to go see that movie or were like freaking out about it? I had one. I have a nephew who was like, super pumped for it.
Yeah, the kids went. I think the first weekend it was out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mikey and Madison went to go see it right away.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
they said they enjoyed it. They said they were into it.
It does make sense because they grew up on Minecraft. Like Minecraft's been around for 15 years now. I think like 2000. I think Minecraft came out like 2010, 2009, and back then it was just like, oh, that what you don't really do anything. You just build stuff with kind of vague stuff, with vague Lego looking things. I don't get it because I'll be honest. Like I prefer my games to be a little bit more. Directed. Like I need a story. I need like, something to kind of push me through. I need a narrative, right? Like I don't mind like, the Grand Theft Autos, which are a little bit more open-ended, which is fine. But when you're just placed in a thing and you're just like, do whatever, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, the do whatever concept. Yeah, maybe we're so used to being told what to do, our generation.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what that's all about.
I think so. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, is every and I'm glad that, this generation of kids grew up with a game that kind of, stirs that creativity in them to like, build stuff. And you see all of these things that have been created in Minecraft that you're like, I had no idea you could even pull that off in Minecraft. You're like, what?
Yeah.
So I think it's cool in that regard, but in terms of, and more power to them. Just don't wild out in the movie theater, right? But for me, my preference is, yeah.
I was gonna say, I know it's a bad take, but I like that the people are getting so into it in the movie theater.
Well, I'm not messing it up for the people who clean afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I think it started out as fun, but obviously now it's gotten a little too far. Like, people just don't know how to control themselves. Yeah. But I know a lot of people get upset when people like clap in theaters or when people are like involved in the theater. Like, I get into it, but obviously when they turn it into like to make it disrespectful, then yeah, it gets bad. But I like that. I like feeling that energy in the movie theater.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember like the old high school days or college days when we would all go to the theater and we'd watch like whatever movie it was, like scary movie or old school or whatever, and everybody's like really into the movie and stuff. And that's cool. But
yeah,
not like throwing stuff or not. I've never been in a situation where like people are throwing stuff or just leaving garbage on them. Nah. So, there's a line. There's a line when it comes to that stuff. I'm like, be respectful of the people who are like, take care of these movie theaters is all I'm saying. But, back to like,
definitely be respectful. No question.
Yeah. But, back to the Switch. Yeah. No, I'm just glad I got it. And, so hopefully, June, whenever that thing does come out, whenever we record another episode of this podcast, I'm just going to put it right here. I'm just going to, right here, so you can see it. And Mario Kart will be playing. Like, I'll just leave it on so you can see like Mario Kart the whole time.
Blank out that portion. Just blank out that part of the screen.
Watch me get like flagged on YouTube or whatever. Just be like, oh, you're playing footage of Mario.
Yeah, I know, right? You play it. Don't mess around and get our podcast flagged, and they'll be like, what happened?
Nintendo jail. Finally, Juan gets to go to Nintendo jail. Oh man,
Juan was being a butt. And got our video banned.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, yes, that was a whole adventure, which I think I'm getting too old for it, but at the same time, like, I'm glad I came out with a console to tell the story, because if we were doing the story and I didn't get one, I would be so miserable right now. I'd be like, I spent 2 hours trying to get, and I got nothing. Ugh. So,
I know. I hate. That's one thing I hate about. I'm glad they changed that on sneakers, where if you entered a draw, you had to wait for so long before it finally told you. Now it's like in 10 minutes. They're like, sorry.
Yeah. Just let me know that. Just let me know. Just let me know right away if I took the L or not. So,
right.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, anyways, moving on to the sneakers side of the program, Jacques. Are you ready for the Air Jordan 1 band again?
I guess I have to be. I feel like I don't have a choice.
Why are we doing this? So reportedly, according to Sneaker News, Soul Retriever, and Complex, they've got like different parts of the story. There's going to be an Air Jordan 1 Bred band, whatever, coming out later this year. I guess during the holiday season. And depending on which outlet you read, it's either going to be the same shoe, a different shoe, the same shoe with different packaging, different SKU, or it's going to be going to 2026. I don't even... What are we doing here, man? Like, what is this? This is just... Who is leaking? Who? Okay, do you think there was just people at Nike who are like, hey, man, let's go mess with these guys? Obviously, they don't do that, but... Why even bother? Like, why are you... And also, I guess...
It's a mix of things. It's great marketing on Nike's part if someone there is leaking this information and just trying to get a barometer on the community. But the fact that everybody has different information is just peak, like, I'm going to get there first. I'm going to get the information out there first. Like, it's peak of that sort of mentality. And so nobody actually knows what's going on, which is great. It's how confused things should be, and I hope things remain confusing until the release actually pops up, and some people get some actual relief, and then it's this. Oh yeah, I do want that. Like I keep mixing it up to look brands, if you're out there, if you're listening to this podcast, give conflicting information to different outlets. Continue to give conflicting information to different outlets. Give wrong shoes, give wrong boxes, just mix it up. Tell one person this, tell one person that, especially when it's this far out, and just, give them blurry images to sell it, and just give people bad information until we get the actual release in like a month ahead of time, then be like, oh, actually, it was this. And give each one a piece of the real thing, but then throw in some nonsense as well. Just keep everybody guessing so nobody really knows what's happening. That's my pitch to brands. Disrupt this whole industry of leaks by showing how inconsistent they can be.
Right. It's almost like subterfuge, right? It's just messing with everybody. It's just sabotaging the whole ecosystem, which I guess the more that you put it that way, I think I'm kind of for it. Like I at first my initial thought was like, why are we doing this again? Why? Oh, and also the information is conflicting. This is just annoying. Like, let's just kind of get our act together. But it turns out the way that you pitched it, now I'm kind of back on board. Yeah, man, let's get these brands to all mess with everybody.
Yeah.
It's like make it give them a coordinated effort. Like, yes, we are releasing an Air Jordan 11 for the holidays, but it's going to be this to this outlet. We're going to say this to this outlet. We're going to say this to this outlet. And then for the last one, we're going to say it's actually coming out in 2027. Don't believe the hype, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Treat it like the head of the Pentagon's signal chat, where you deny.
Wow.
Until somebody has to prove you're wrong. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I you know what? Yeah, no, I was ready to come into this conversation and be like, man, this sucks. But now I'm like, now I'm back in. I'm all for the chaos. I am all for just like, and then we get to like recount, because we don't have any skin in this game. We don't have any. This has nothing, you know, we have no rooting interest in any of this stuff. If it's just the brands being petty or the brands being just, let's just mess with these guys, let's mess with them. Cool. I am down for that. Just, and then the blurry, I love the idea of the blurry pics, right? It's like, we'll just show a piece of like the shoe right here on like the heel. And then like another outlet gets like the toe box and it's a different shoe. and then like everybody tries to piece it all together. You're like, wait, this is not the shoe. What? He's out there messing with us again, you know, that kind of thing. I should put
out a statement from an unnamed source at Jordan Brand.
Right. Okay. So this is good. All right. So now that we've kind of seen what everybody else is saying, like, if you were to do something, like, what would be like your part of this whole discussion? Like, like your statement. What would yours be? What would be what's your angle, right? So you're also getting like the same thing. You're saying like, yes, there's going to be a Jordan 1 Bred band, whatever, coming out on, you know, because what is it? The rumor is like October 18, right? Which is the day that Jordan first wore. What if we change it to a different day? What if we said that it's gonna? Okay, what
they've done? Find out the angle.
What would be the angle, right? Like
unnamed source at Jordan Brand.
Okay, so what if it was like, it's gonna be a hologram? it's gonna be shiny metallic or whatever, right? It's not gonna be patent leather. Yeah. It's gonna be just some wild, like, because they've done Flyknit, they've done patent leather, they've done. Oh, what if they did suede? What if they did the thing that they hated, the people hated with the Royals, right? What if they did a suede? You know, what if they did like a suede band ones and then put the X on the back or something? Just something that would be like. Just because no one said different materials, right? We've heard different packaging, we've heard different color blocking, maybe even an entirely different colorway that has nothing to do with any of this. But I don't think we've heard materials. So what if your thing was different material? It's not going to be leather construction. What if it was? Maybe don't say what the material is, but say it's something you haven't. They've never done it on a Jordan 1 before. You know, that could be your.
Yeah. Huh.
That would be like your you should do that.
This could be fun. Yeah. I'm gonna just trolling. All right, we're gonna get out there and get it. All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be, well, it's even more limited than the 10,000 whatever pairs that came out earlier
Which
this
is crazy
year.
because it already felt like that was limited too.
Yeah. And that's the one. Oh, no, maybe that should be your thing. It's a GR.
It's a GR, yeah. Yeah.
It's a GR. It's dropping everywhere. Foot Locker, JD Sports, Target, Walmart, Best Buy. You can get it there too. They're gonna have a midnight. They're gonna have a midnight launch at so and so place and all that stuff. Just kind of like the Switch 2, that kind of that deal.
That could be good.
That could be good. Yeah. No, but again, the Bred ones. Like, I do enjoy the chaos, but it's more for me. It's like we're just doing this again. Like this particular Jordan, we just did it. Like, what's the point?
I mean, I want more people to experience it.
Yeah, but make it a GR.
It is a good shoe. It is a good shoe.
Yeah.
You definitely have to break them in. My pair actually hurt my feet the first couple of times I wore them.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, like the toe box had a real hot spot there, but eventually they kind of wore in and they feel a little better. Honestly, I still prefer my Reimagines more than I do those. But it's a good shoe. It's a good shoe. It's an heirloom or replica or whatever it is you want to call it. It's a good recreation of the original, and I think they'll kind of stand the test of time. And maybe years down the line, I'll appreciate it a little more. But I still would rather wear my my Reimagine ones before I wear those.
Yeah, like I said, just make him a GR. Make people if you really
just make
want
them a GR so everybody can get them.
Yeah, everybody can get them.
Like, back in the day.
If you're gonna price it's gonna suck because you're still gonna price it. What is it? Was it $250? Right? Yeah. It's gonna suck, but make them a GR. Just if you want people to, you're not gonna get everybody happy because it is $250, but you are gonna get people happy to just be able to buy it. Like that's just do that. Just make at least appease some of the audience, not piss off everybody, because doing this, making it limited, and then the conflicting information is conflicting information. But the thing that's most important is the actual production numbers. If they're limited, that sucks. If they're a GR, it's going to suck for the people who cannot afford the $250 price point. But at least you're going to appease, make the ones who can afford the $250 happy so they can stop complaining about not getting the initial run, So.
Yeah, but I know they also don't want these to be out there so much that they go on sale, and that's you got to find that balance. Like something when you're pricing this at $250 and then they go on sale later down the line, you don't want that. And
I've gone on record and saying I don't care.
I know, but I'm saying from a business perspective and like what is it, like the cultural significance of them.
Sure, I get it.
I just can't see them going on sale. I don't know.
And we've, I guess me more than you, I guess we've gone on hard pass and saying it's worth the sacrifice. Like it doesn't have to be every Jordan one. Make at least one of them widely available. If you don't want the banned ones to be make the Chicago ones or the Royals. Make up for people who which I still don't understand. I was totally fine with the Royal the Reimagines. I thought there was nothing really wrong with them. I get that people wanted the originals, but didn't really have a problem with the suede ones. But anyways, so let's just Nike. Just make them available, people. Just make them available.
Just make them available. Do your troll. That's the
troll.
After all
troll
of this,
everybody. just give us what we want, I guess. And no, I'm not trading a Switch 2 for a pair of those. No, the Switch 2 is still more important in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't trade a Switch 2 for a pair.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. Sure. Yeah, totally. All right, moving on to our next topic. We've got Angel Reese on deck, and she has got a Reebok collection coming out next week on, I guess it's May 1st. And it's got like your apparel. It's got a lot of her Angel branding and all that stuff, which is very cool. But I thought it was interesting that she's also getting a 3-pack of sneakers, which is the Shaqnosis, the Premier Road, which is a running franchise that I still can't wrap my head around because there's so many different variants of it. Yeah. And Club C. And I got to say, man, pretty good stuff. I think I'm a little
Yeah, they
too
look
old to pull
clean.
off the Shaq Gnosis. I think I do like the Premier Road. I might be interested in those, but for me, the Shaq Gnosis has always been like a tough sneaker to crack. It's just every other
Yeah,
colorway,
it's a
every other
hard sneaker to
colorway.
wear.
Yeah, I mean, like I've worn them out like the original colorway, and you always get the nod. You always get like the Shaq Gnosis or all that stuff, right? Those
Yeah,
are one of
yeah,
those
yeah.
sneakers that
People
really
acknowledge
and
them when they see
people
them.
acknowledge those. But for whatever reason, Reebok just cannot make a colorway beyond the original that is visually appealing. And I get it; it's tough. I can't even imagine like what colorways could pull that off besides the black and white. Now this one
I
is
mean,
probably
it's
the
such an
closest.
iconic
Okay.
colorway. I think that's part of
Yeah.
it. Like that
Yeah.
colorway is just so iconic that
Yeah. It's hard to
yeah,
imagine it with anything
it's
else.
hard to imagine it anywhere else. And like the design is so striking. Like the design is striking. The colorway is so like classic.
Bold.
It's
Yeah.
it's bold. Yeah, the design's bold. The colorway is bold. So any other version of that makes it challenging. Now, that's not to say that there can't be. I absolutely think there's an opportunity for someone
There's
to really
potential,
like
yeah.
do it right, but it just it kind of just depends on the person. I think they just got to do it the right way and make it look the right way. I think there's a great
Yeah.
opportunity though for someone to make it work.
Right. And this one I do like the way it looks. It's not something I think I could pull off, but I do like the way that it does have appeal to it. I think part of it is because of like the hits of gold on it. I do like those like little hits of gold on it to kind of give it like a little bit of a contrast from the white and the what is it, salmon or pink or bright whatever they're calling it. So I
Right,
do appreciate that,
tangerine,
and I
whatever it
do
is.
yeah, tangerine. Yeah, but I do like that also Angel's branding is on it, right? Like you've got
Yeah,
that little
it's a good
little
move.
logo on
Good move.
there, and it's
Gets
also
her out there
setting
more
every
too.
yeah, definitely it's setting her up to being well. I mean, she basically is the face of Reebok at this point, Reebok basketball, and so it's
Yeah,
really setting her up to whatever the eventual signature shoe release is, which is not going to be till 2026. But these little things, these little just they just keep dropping them every once in a while, like it keeps people you know aware of Angel's brand, and that eventually come next year that's good. That's when the big rollout comes in. So yeah, I just thought I'd highlight that because I appreciated like those touches because
yeah,
Reebok still doesn't have like well, I mean Reebok like they don't have their big NBA athlete yet. So Angel is definitely like carrying the flag. So she's like top of mind to everybody, with the WNBA season, starting soon. Yeah, I just thought it was like a cool little thing to kind of spotlight and everything. And yeah, I think
yeah.
I
Do
might
you think
try to
she
get.
can? Do you think
Oh no,
that
go ahead.
Reebok can get a big NBA guy?
I mean, let's see what's happening in his NBA upcoming draft, right? Like, I think the word is that this is going to be one of the more deeper drafts, at least compared to like last year. You got Cooper Flag, of which I don't even know what the deal is with his New Balance thing. Is he going to continue with New Balance after? So, I mean, he's been in
I would think
commercials.
so.
He's in the
If I
commercials
was New
now.
Balance, I
So,
would.
yeah, it's not just like an
But
NIL deal. It's just, now that he's a pro, he is in the commercials
yeah,
now, so I figured I guess that's the case. He is going to continue with New Balance, but I guess there's other players too, like Ace Bailey, I think just declared for the draft. So, there's just a lot of different names, I guess, out there that could potentially be like a game changer, especially for Reebok. I mean, they can't get like Cooper Flag, but maybe they can get another player who's like, a high draft pick and, has,
yeah,
it's not just even about talent, it's about name recognition, right? Like, it's about how much of a social media following they got, how much they are appealing to like the kids, because it comes
yeah,
back to like well, I guess we'll talk about this later with like Ja and like the vibes that I got from the Ja 3 and like LaMelo Ball's signature line. We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
yeah. It's almost like their impact. Like I'm becoming less and less of a fan of the he's a high draft pick, let's give him a shoe deal scenario or
Right.
formula. I feel like it should be impact on the game, like people that are really impacting the game in the way that we see the game, and you just don't see that. I don't know if that's
Right.
happening anymore. Like I love like the Dame situation where Dame didn't have a shoe deal right away, but then it kind of came together. Like people like LeBron, yes, sign them right away because they have a huge impact on the game. They're reshaping the way of the game. But just because you're first in the NBA draft, I don't know that you deserve a sneaker. I don't know that you deserve a sneaker deal.
I mean, who was the first pick in last year's draft? No one really knows, and I don't know if that particular player has a sneaker deal. So, maybe the brands are moving towards that way. Like, Wemby, because he is such a huge name, transcendent talent, that kind of
impact,
thing.
Yeah, transcendent talent. If you're a transcendent talent, sure, you get a sneaker deal out of the draft. But if you're not, I need to see how you impact the game. Like, can you be Dame? Can you really impact the team you're playing for like Dame did and get a bigger deal down the line? That's what I
And with Dame's, it kind of popped up relatively fast. Like Adidas kind of saw, like they signed Dame, but it wasn't like, oh, he's going to be one of our guys right away. And then when he like balled out in his first year, rookie of the year and all that stuff, they were like, ooh, we got to fast track this guy. So maybe that's the situation now is like, and maybe that is going to be the situation outside of like your Cooper Flags, which, signed with Duke. There's a lot of like cultural reasons why Cooper, beyond being like a pretty good hooper who, showed out during the tournament. Yeah. But, let's be honest, there's a lot of cultural reasons why Cooper Flag is going to, stand out and, going to get like the deals that he's going to get. So let's just be honest about that. So, I mean, maybe Reebok should maybe Reebok, their strategy should be like what Adidas did is sign like several players, see how they, maybe wait a season or two, see how they pan out, and then kind of push the ones who are elevating. So, they're probably going to have to go that route instead of making a big splash with whoever, is number one in a couple years or whatever. So,
get some allotment deals and see what happens when they go down the line. Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's interesting. We'll see what comes out of this draft. Cooper Flag honestly being probably the main one, and seeing how he transitions to the NBA and if he's I guess the new Kawhi, for lack of a better word.
Oh, a board man get paid or something like that. By the way, how are we feeling? How are we feeling about that though? Kawhi seems to be back on track though. It's woo, man, seems to be balling out right now. I'm that is who the JV team signed up, and it's man, you just hope he stays healthy. As much as we clown on the JV team, we would never wish injury or anything like that. We want to see Kawhi ball out.
Never.
No.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely want to see
Kawhi balling out is always a good thing. Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Because I finally got to see him live a couple of years ago. Shout out to Air Mag, friend of the program. Hooked me up with a ticket to watch, and now I just finally saw Kawhi live for the first time. Man, that guy's good. That is you don't really.
He's a baller.
Yeah, and it's just everything about him is solid, dude. Nothing. There's no really weakness in his game. He's just a dude who just gets the job done. He's just very much that workman. Just dang, man. And I got to see
I don't need to show out. I don't need to do anything extra. No. He's just I'm a baller, and that's what we need. That's what everybody needs.
Exactly. So shout out to Kawhi. But back to the Angel Reese of it all. I mean, I think as the flag bearer for Reebok at the moment, I think she's doing a pretty good job. And if the Chicago Sky do well this upcoming season, that could only just only up her image and status even more.
Yeah, and I want to see her do well. I do want to see her do well. She has a unique perspective on the game, and she approaches all of this fame in a very unique way. So it'll be interesting to see how that translates for her.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so moving on to something I did kind of briefly mention is the Nike Ja 3. It got revealed a couple days ago, and it's very much unlike the Ja 1 and Ja 2. It's got that scratch look, various scratches. It kind of comes to mind those various Ja 1 and 2s that had the scratch logo, very much reminiscent of the Memphis Grizzlies scratch logo kind of thing. So I guess they kind of went full bore for it for the Ja 3. So I was oh, it's a nice departure from the previous two. It's very much this is the shoe, because I think we mentioned it on the show. The third signature shoe is typically where it's kind of like a fork in the road kind of moment where it can go one way or the other, and the 3 is definitely like everybody's kind of familiar with like design and everything, or everybody's like knows what everybody's kind of looking for. And I guess Jaw said be fearless, which, you know, Jaw's very much an interesting character to say something like that at the moment. But yeah, I think they succeeded with that. Now, but the thing that came to mind when I first saw the shoe though was, oh, they're kind of going the LaMelo Ball route, like the Puma, the MB, you know, with the very much the out there kind of design,
Out
and
there
maybe
designs,
yeah, like very like this one has the scratches, but with, you know, LaMelo is more like an alien like symbiotic Venom almost looking shoe, where it's like it's almost taking over the shoe. So with this one, it's a little bit more. It's from the side, right? Like, you know, from this angle, this from the jaw shoe is like coming from like the bottom up. So I wonder what is possible there. And, you know, I think it was a Nice Kicks who posted like a hypothetical Jurassic Park 3, and I was like, okay, good job, guys, good job. And they show
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at the nickname.
Yeah, and they colored the Jaw 3 in the colors of the Jurassic Park those trucks, those SUVs that they use, or the Hummers that they use in the movie. So it's like green, yellow, red, and everything. So I was like, oh, and that's also why it kind of made me think about the LaMelos even more, is because the MBs are always just these wild colorways that you're just trying to make sense of it. And it's and trying to make sense of it, I'm like, why am I doing this? This is not for me. This is for the kids. And I feel like with the Jaw 3, maybe they're trying to aim for that instead of going for the, oh, these looks like Kobe's, these look like, you know, previous shoes from the past. Maybe this different direction is like a kind of attempt to kind of go for that younger audience who wants something a little bit more out there, for lack of a better terms. Like, you know, let's see what happens with like other colorways. Like, you can always imagine like a Jaw 3 that has like these different wild combinations of colors just based on the design, right? You just look at it and you're like, you can kind of see the potential there. So that's why my first thought, that's why I was thinking they're trying to kind of get into that mellow lane almost.
The mellow lane. Yeah, it feels very mellow. It, you know, it kind of reminds me of like it looks almost like an actual tennis shoe. Like
it is low,
like the low. It almost feels like a tennis, like an actual tennis shoe. But then it also kind of reminds me of the DT96. So it's like a tennis version of the DT96, I guess. Kind of in my brain when I look at it. Actually, I mean, obviously we'll see when new colorways come, but if they come out with like a white and black one or something like that, like, then that's definitely going to give me DT96 vibes. But I like it. I think it's interesting. It's a different look for a shoe. It looks kind of flat a little bit too, which it's a very interesting design.
I wonder if it's just because of the colors, like just because of the way that the colors are positioned. It kind of makes it look more flatter than it probably is. Like, I think it's going to be interesting when we actually get it in hand and like wearing it. But I think I did have the same reaction, but I wonder if it's just because of like the way that the colors are, like the color blocking, just because of the way that it's positioned. Maybe it just gives off an appearance in pictures that it's flatter than it really is.
Than it really is, yeah. That might be it. Yeah, it just looks different. It just looks very different to me. But I like that. I like that they're taking risk. I like that they're, you know, doing something that they haven't normally done, and, you know, just giving a different design language. And I mean, we saw that with KD's stuff. You know, they in those early years, they were really experimenting with what his designs are, and I feel like they're doing that. They're taking that. Well, we'll see. It's just one, but we'll see if they take that route with this one of really kind of changing up the style and the look of the shoe to give the market something different to respond to, so it's not all exactly the same. So yeah, I appreciate it. I'm happy with it. We'll see how it all comes together.
Yeah, I think I just now that you mentioned like the DT, the Diamond Turfs. Now I wonder what if they did that with the Diamond Turfs too? Like, they just went crazy with it. Like, you know, we're right now in the era of like, you know, bringing back the Dions and like, you know, the colorways that we remember, and we even have that collaboration with LeBron. But now that you've brought that up, it kind of gets me to thinking, man, they could really actually go crazy with the Diamond Turfs, huh? They could actually like do some kind of interesting colorways with it. I wonder if Coach Prime would be down for that, but I don't know. Like, you know, that's out of his like. it would be like us. We're like, we're too old for this. Just do what you want.
Yeah, I think that's out of his wheelhouse. But his boys should be able to tell him.
Yeah. No, Shadura should definitely be like, hey, pops, let's try this, and hopefully I still get drafted in the first round.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, totally. So yeah, no, I think the Jaw 3 is going to be promising. It's definitely, I think, at the very least, it's got people talking in a way that they haven't with the Jaw 1 and 2. I mean, there was excitement for the Jaw 1 just because at the time, John Moran seemed like he was going to be the guy, the American-born player
dude.
who was going to take us to the next level and everything. And he could still do that. Like, there's no reason why he couldn't still do that. It's just stuff got in the way.
Stuff. Bad press. Yeah, kind of changed the outlook on him. Yeah. Well,
but anyways, yeah. Hopefully, just the ship gets righted and Ja focuses and leads the Grizzlies to better days, because it doesn't seem like it's gonna be better days immediately at the moment. They're gonna be swept probably by the Thunder.
We'll see.
But at least the shoe is. I don't know if the shoe is moving in the right direction, but it's moving in an interesting direction though. So at least at the very least,
in a direction.
in a direction that at least we're not like just saying, oh, it's just another shoe that looks like, the accusations I think are fair now at this point, right? Like a lot of Nike basketball shoes now definitely have like a similar, at least
vibe,
yeah, design. Right? Like from LeBron's to Sabrina's to everything. So this is out of the norm, and whether like it translates to the public is, we'll see when it actually drops. But I think trying stuff is just good. Like, I think we should be
agreed.
This should be the era of trying things, is basically what I'm getting at. Is like, let's
under
not
their new
play
leadership,
it safe.
let's try some new shit and just play around with new designs and take some risk and create a new dynamic, create a new language, create a new lane for yourself. Like, evolve past yourself. Maintain that world that you have, but also create a new world that you can walk into.
Yeah, I feel like Asia's like kind of there, but not all the way there. Like, it feels like it's the halfway point between like trying new things and just kind of sticking with like the familiar. Like, Asia's there, but Ja is like, all right, let's kind of get wild, let's kind of get crazy with it. So I'm interested. So I'll look forward to like seeing what other colorways out there. Just don't expect me to ever wear them because I'm too old for this. Nah,
you never know. One's gonna pop up and you're gonna be like, oh, okay.
I think I could do that.
I like that. I think
I'll wear that for the Switch 2 line.
There you go.
I'm already dreading. Like, I'll be honest, I'm kind of dreading that line just because I'm like, oh, geez, like I can't.
It'll be great.
I'm sure it'll be fun. Like, you'll be like with like-minded people, my fellow dorks. We are here. Let's line up. Let's talk about Switch.
Everyone's going to be in line with their original Switch or their OLED and playing games, and it's going to be a good time.
I know. I knock on it, but at the same time, it's like,
already. Yeah.
Oh no. At the same time, I'm like, I never lined up for sneakers. I'm like, it's like,
but you lined up for video games, which is just
dog. Yeah, which is just as good. But yes. Anyways, that was episode 34 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. Again, I'm your co-host Juan Martinez. Jacques
is who I am. Jacques Slade. Thank you guys for listening. We always appreciate you guys joining us on the Too Hard to Pass podcast, aka the Get Hard podcast. And we really just want to say thank you for listening in and enjoying the show. Make sure you watch Hard Pass too. We got a good episode today. We shot it earlier today, and I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. A lot of wrestling talk, a lot of sneaker talk, and I would say a lot of hater talk. Yeah, a lot of hater talk. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Give us an email if you have some feedback at the Too Hard to Pass podcast at gmail. Is it Too Hard to Pass podcast at gmail.com?
Yes, the email is Too Hard to Pass podcast at gmail.com. The number 2.
Gmail.com. And that's the number 2. The number 2. Make sure you like and give us great feedback and 5 stars and share this with a friend and stuff like that, because it definitely helps us out. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. I'm Jacques. That's Juan. This is the Too Hard to Pass podcast, and this is probably Tuesday when this went live, or maybe you're watching this on Wednesday, or maybe you're watching it on Thursday. You know what? Maybe it's like
what is time? What is time?
What is time? All right, we're out of here.
That's actually the topic of the next episode is what is time?
What is time? All right, Joe.
What is time?
We out.